everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video I am going to be doing a tutorial on how to cut this beautiful dress with ruffles. So guys, I am new on YouTube, so please do me a favor by liking, sharing and subscribing to my channel. So without further ado, let's get right into the cutting aspect of it. So in this tutorial I'm going to be using African prints. This fabric is 3 yards and 12 inches. So first of all, I'm going to fold it into two and I'll start inputting the body measurement on it. The half length is 15, so I'll mark 15 all through the fabric and I'll use my ruler to rule it out. So after marking it, I'm going to mark the chest line, which is 8, but I'm going to be using 9 for 1 inch for shoulder slope. Then I'll take my ruler and rule it out. So after that, I'm going to mark the hip line, which is 23. So I'm going to mark it, and after marking it, I'll use my ruler to rule it, to extend it. So after that, I'm going to mark the shoulder, which is 7, and I'll come down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. The width of the neckline is 2.5 inch, while the length is 4.5. Then I'll use my ruler to rule it out. So after marking it, I'm going to be using my curve to curve it. So after this, I'm going to be marking the shoulder, which is 7. I'll slope it down by the 1 inch you are seeing, and I'll mark it down from the shoulder to the chest line. So I'll start inputting the body measurement on it. The chest divided by 4, and I'll add 2-inch seam allowance. Why you are dividing your measurement by 4 is because your fabric is on fold, both the back and the front. Also, the waist divided by 4, and I'll also add 2-inch seam allowance. The same thing as the hip, divided by 4 and also add 2-inch seam allowance. So the length of this dress is 41, so I mark the length and I'll use my ruler to rule it out. I'll extend it out. So the armhole is 8, so I'll mark half of the armhole, which is 4, and I'll use it to extend it. I'm going to mark 1 inch at the back of the armhole and I'll extend it to the top. Then I'll use my ruler to rule it to the length of the dress. So after that, I'll start to cut it. So after cutting it, I am going to fold a new set of fabric and I'll place the front part on top of it. Then I'm going to be marking the neckline, which is going to be 2. The width of the neckline is going to be 2.5, while the length is going to be 2.5 also. So after that, I'm going to mark it and I'll use my ruler curve to curve it out. So as you fold the fabric from your back, you have to leave at least 2 inches for zip allowance. So after that, I'll cut it out. So as you are cutting the armhole side, you should leave at least half an inch, because the armhole of the back side must be a little bit wider than the front.
she got a family of her own. It's kept the two apart. Used to have so many visitors, but now the only one is the nurse that helps her move the chair.
So after that, I'm going to cut a little fabric and I'm going to sew it around the neckline so I can use it to turn it over. So after that, I'll trace the neckline around the other fabric and also the shoulder, then I'll cut it out. So after that, you place it on top of your neckline, sew it round it and flip it over. So after that, we'll continue with the back. We'll place the fabric on top of the little cloth. Then I'll trace the neckline and I'm going to cut it out. So you also cut the shoulder part. So as you're cutting the fabric, you have to give it some kind of curve, like you are seeing me doing. Voices in her head that mirror what she's heard before. This is the back, so I'm going to place the fabric on top of it to the neckline, sew it and flip it over. As you can see, I'm already done sewing it, and you see I've already put the fabric and also flipped the neckline over. So I have ironed it and also gave it this crease line. So at the crease line, I'm going to take my scissors and notch it. So we're going to take the measurement of where we're going to be putting the ruffles. So from the crease line, we're going to measure 5 inches away from the crease line, from the left and the right. So that's where we're going to be placing the ruffles. So then you mark it out. So as you get to the shoulder is 4, so half of that shoulder is 2. So the half of the shoulder is 2, so you use your chalk to connect it. The same thing you do with the second side. Every day, I know for every laugh we share today, there'll be a tear. So you will flip your fabric to the back, and instead from the crease line, you start from where the zip is, where the line of the zip is, and you are going to measure from there, 5 inches away for your ruffles. So after that, we're going to be cutting the ruffles. So the breadth of the ruffles is going to be 5, and the length of the ruffles is going to be 160. Why is that? Is because that the length of the dress is 40, so you measure the back and the front, which is 80, so times 2 of the 80 will be 160. So your ruffle should be 5 by 160. So I'll cut it out. So this is how we're going to be printing the ruffles on the dress. I'll show you how to do it. Take it in like that. So then you paint it all through it. So I'm going to be cutting the sleeve. and fold it into 4 so I can cut the 2 at once. So after that, I'll start putting the measurement on it. So I'm going to mark 4 to curve it down. I'll use my ruler to rule it out. So I'm going to mark the arm, which is 12. So I'm going to put this and add 1 inch seam allowance. That will be divided by 2. And my round sleeve is 13 divided by 2, which is 6.5, and I'll add 1 inch seam allowance. Then I'm going to curve my armhole. I'm going to curve it like so, and I'll use my ruler to rule the length of it. So after that, I'll start to cut it. So as I flip it open, as you can see, there are 2 sleeves. So at the border line, I'm going to fold it. So guys, this is the finishing look of this lovely dress. I am going to wear it and show you. So guys, this is the finishing look of this lovely dress with ruffles. Please guys, do me a favor by liking, sharing and subscribing, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.